Fam, we got a good one today. Today we're going to get into exactly how body game will change your life. Now, the reason I'm harping on body game is it's one of the reasons a lot of people get into fitness is because they're trying to get girls, but then eventually they fall in love with the process and they start to help others. That's how a lot of us start. But also, I want everyone to know that I was literally, and I promise to God, I was the lamest kid in high school. I was one of those kids that were so lame. I was voted, oh, this is the lamest in the class. Like they would do random stuff like, who's the lamest in this class, and they would point at me and shit like that, right? Like I was literally the quote unquote loser. Now, I'm not saying this for a pity party because I would just read books, watch anime, read manga anyways. I didn't really care. I didn't really pay attention to it. But I'm just saying it goes to show that you can really make a change. Like if you could start from a bottom from someone who literally couldn't get a prom date so didn't show up to prom like me to literally being able to like girls wanting to fly you out and like flying out to you and just random shit like that. If I could do that, then that means you could at least pull one girl. Like even if I went from not being able to get a prom date, like not getting any attention, not getting a hug or a kiss in my entire high school career, even if I went from that to getting one girl, that'd be a miracle. So the fact that I've been able to, attract women just from body game and get a lot of respect from a lot of people who used to like roast me in the past. It shows that body game will actually change your life. It's not just something I'm saying that's like, oh, body game. No, it really fucking changes your life, guys. A good physique is a status symbol, guys. Like seriously. All right, so like I said, man, I was literally the lamest kid. I got bullied every single first period. Like I didn't call it bullying because I was used to it. I thought it was just normal shit. But I used to get roasted every first period just for no hairline or whatever they wanted to roast me for that specific day. Right? I was super skinny. Um, my senior year was horrible because I had gastritis, and then I lost like a lot of weight. So I was literally super skinny. I weighed less than a lot of people, but I was taller than them, so it was horrible. I didn't socialize outside of school because I didn't have a phone until like the end of my senior year, yo. So I didn't even have Instagram. People were on Facebook and Instagram, and I even had that shit, right? So I was always reading. I was an outcast. I was a lame. Just so you guys can know, because I feel like a lot of people think, oh, you're the high school jock. Bro, I got absolutely no cheeks in high school. Bro, I didn't even get a hug in high school, bro. I promise you. 4 years, no hugs, bro. Not even playing, bro. You can ask anybody. 4 years, no hugs. Like, not even attempted hugs, bro. I used to sit alone at lunch, all that shit, bro. Like, that's just how it was. All right. Now, another story I keep telling y'all because this story is literally horrible, bro. Like my high school experience obviously was horrible. This is all I did was read, read, read. I even worked in the library my last 2 years of high school. But the only attention I got from women, like I know I said I didn't get any, but the only time I did is when they're trying to get my brother's number, right? Like this girl spent the whole two sophomore chicks. They're like some of the hardest chicks in the school. Um, and I was a sophomore too. And there was my brother was a senior, but they talked to me the whole class. I was like, "Damn, bro, I'm getting attention from chicks. This is crazy." And at the end of class, they're like, "Hey, do you have your brother's number?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." They're like, "Oh, you don't know his number?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh," and they never ever talked to me again, ever. Even when they like dropped the pencil right next to me one time, I like picked it up and gave it to me. They would even gave it to them, and they'd even make eye contact. They just took it. They're like, "Okay." And like I said earlier, I couldn't even get a prom date, bro. This is like all before my body was right, and obviously I didn't get haircuts either. I just had very low self awareness. Let's be honest. All right, so how did I look when I looked? How I felt when I looked in the mirror? Because I know a lot of you guys feel like this now. I just had literally zero confidence, bro. Zero confidence. I didn't like my physique. I felt like I could lift pretty heavy because I played football like on and off in high school. So I could lift pretty heavy. So the fact that I was super skinny didn't make any sense. I had like long joints, super skinny, no muscle mass. It was like, bro, how do you lift that weight but you look like shit? You see what I'm saying? Not realizing that there's a difference between working out for strength and working out for aesthetics. Yeah, my physique was super skinny, and then I had like a gut. You can't really see it here, but I had like no arms and like a little gut. I'd read bodybuilding.com articles like all the fucking time. Like I read everyone's diets, I read everyone's workouts, I watched pump chasers, I learned everything. I didn't apply any of it. I did not apply any of it. That's why I wasn't getting results, guys. And that's why I always tell you guys it's so important to apply everything because I was there too. You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm making this video so you guys can see where I was because some of you guys are like, who is this asshole? He's always been no. I wasn't shit, bro. I was the nobody. All right. Well, actually, I was the lamest in my class, so that is like significant. I don't know if that's an accomplishment, but anyways, I wasn't consistently doing any of it. Like I said, I wasn't applying it, which is why I wasn't getting the results. All right, so before I got into nursing school, my brother and sister sat me down and they made me set goals for the first time ever. And when I set those goals in the beginning of the year, it was literally the first time I like set real goals. And obviously to me, they were insane. I was like, okay, man, I'm going to get up to, because I was 148 at the time. I was like, I'm going to get up to 185. I'm going to get bigger traps, bigger chest, which I thought was impossible, right? Because I was self-limiting a lot. I was like, I'm going to get my personal training license and then I'm going to get this, that. I had like five small goals. Like looking back, they're small goals. Hindsight is 2020. But back then it was like the hugest goals. I was like, none of this is gonna happen. I was like, dude, if I got bigger chest, my life would change. I think that's genetic. It's not gonna happen. I was like, bro, if I get my personal training license, I don't think it'll happen. And I also put down to be like the number one salesman in the gym or whatever. I thought none of this would happen, bro. I thought literally none of it would happen. So when it actually happened by the end of the year, it was like the craziest thing ever. I was like, holy shit, dude. I had my, I graduated nursing school, of course, so I could start working as a nurse. And then I got my personal training license as well. I was the top salesman in the gym. And then, like I said, bro, I packed on muscle for the first time ever. And I was like, yo, I never thought this shit would ever happen, right? So it was really eye opening to me. And it made me realize that, yo, when you set goals and you follow through on them, you can really accomplish them. And then obviously that'll change your life. So you just got to, a lot of times you got to set the goals. Like a lot of us, we say we want something, but we don't really write down and set the goal and make a plan of action. Without a plan of action, you're just not going to be able to succeed. It's like very hard to succeed without a plan of action, without structure, right? So when I set those goals, I made a plan of action, I executed, it was awesome. All right. So my 12-year journey. All right. So I did lift in high school, but a lot of times, like in the beginning, when I was lifting in high school, I wasn't eating right. So I would say about 7 to 8 years of like serious, intentional lean bulking, dirty bulking, cutting for like about 7 to 8 years, right? So I've packed on muscle over the years, like I said. I've made fitness a lifestyle, which is the most important thing. Lifestyle, this word, you guys need to understand what this means. You guys need to look it up and understand what it means. Because you guys say you want to make fitness a lifestyle, and in the same breath, you say you're going to do keto to start. That doesn't make any fucking sense, guys. That's like saying you want to get married, right? So you're going to go look for girls to do one night stands with. You just said you want to get married right now. So why are you looking for one night stands? That doesn't make any sense, right? So it's the same concept, guys. You gotta make this a lifestyle. It's something that's gonna happen long term. You guys always try to do keto and water fasting. That is not long term. Or you're like, no, I'm just gonna do it to get a good head start. No, just fucking do what you're gonna do in the first place. Stop doing this quote unquote dumbass head start shit. Like the only thing water fasting is gonna make you do is hate your life and hate dieting and binge eat. That's all it's gonna do. If I water fasted, I guarantee there's 100% chance I'm binge eating after water fasting. That shit just doesn't make any sense. Let me water fast for 14 days. I'm going to eat so much food, I'm going to end up in the hospital. All right, let's just be honest. That's why I don't do dumb shit like that. You're setting yourself up for failure. So remember that lifestyle change means a marathon, not a race, guys. Long term, long term, long term. I've inspired thousands and helped thousands get into shape, which is one of the biggest things. In person, online, through Instagram DMs, TikTok DMs, even people on YouTube. So it's just been really, really eye opening. Getting a lot of messages like, "Hey man, you inspired me. Hey man, you inspired me." Or people like seriously not knowing and be like, "Hey, what the hell do I do with this, that, or what do I eat?" And I'll just like, I'll tag them in one of my posts that shows like a day eating, and they're like, "Oh shit, I never. This is what I should eat." And then they start eating, and they're like, "Oh shit, I dropped 20 pounds. I'm off my blood pressure medication." And then also training people and helping them drop 150 pounds. Their blood levels get better, like their blood work gets better. Helping people get out blood pressure medications, high, high cholesterol medications, helping people, reverse type 2 diabetes, help them reverse insulin resistance, get out of the pre-diabetic range, all that stuff has been amazing. It's been amazing, guys. And you got to remember, money comes and goes, but you can't take away a fit body, right? You can literally lose a bajillion dollars in one day, but you can't lose all your muscle in one day. You just can't, unless it's a cartoon or some shit, but you can't lose all your muscle in one day. And one of the most important things as well, not only have I changed the way I see myself, which has allowed me to inspire others and be consistent, but I've also increased the respect people have for me, which is awesome. I mean, no one's gonna complain with that. All right, so how does it increase my discipline? So fitness is literally like the key to discipline. It's like the gateway to discipline. Like once you become fit, you know what discipline is. Now you have the choice whether you apply it to other aspects of life or not, but at least you know what it is, right? Because in reality, when you have to eat more than you feel like it when you're bulking, even on the days when you're full, like and you're kind of nauseous and full, that takes discipline. Number one, right? When you don't go out as much as you used to, you can't just party and do things that's like instant gratification. You can't just drink and smoke weed 24/7. You can't just be beating your meat because you need the energy and you need to wake up on time. And you can't just go out drinking because it's going to mess up your gains and it'll throw off your schedule. That takes discipline when your friends are like, "Hey, we're going out to drink. We're going out to drink." Like how many of you guys in high school there was someone that was like super fit, and then 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you're seeing them on Facebook and they're super out of shape because they continued the habits that they had. You got to remember the compound effect is a part of fitness, because discipline and fitness is all about delaying gratification, doing things now that you'll reap benefits for later. So it's like you're doing something they're like, "Dude, why you always going to the gym? That's just dumb." And 10 years later, you're shredded. You might be on a magazine cover and they're out of shape. They got cirrhosis or high blood pressure, a lot of issues. So fitness has really helped me personally delay gratification instead of chasing instant gratification. And it also helped when I was doing sales in the gym, when I was doing like in person training. It really helped with sales just because I had a good understanding of fitness, obviously, but also my physique spoke for itself. All right. Another thing that's going to change is how family and friends see you, which is going to be, super awesome because I used to be like just another person, but now they're always like, oh, what's up? You're the fit one. Or, oh, what fit sexy we? Or they say stuff like that, right? So it's like, it's interesting that now they'll come to advice from me, but before they're just like, oh, what's up with this skinny kid? He's kind of lame. And then my older brother, they'd be like, that's Mr. Muscles. But now they're like, oh, it's Mr. Muscles. What's up? How do I do this? How do I do that? And they'll kind of ask me for advice, look to me for advice. So because I'm passionate about fitness and I love fitness, it's cool to have that, like, because that's how I identify with myself. Like I'm fit. I take this seriously. So when other people take you seriously too, and they ask you for advice, that shows that they respect it too, which is awesome because there's nothing more like that. Kind of sounds like validation, but it's also like when you're in your identity and other people recognize it as well. You feel like you belong there. Obviously, like if someone doesn't recognize my identity, I'm not gonna be like I need their validation. I'm just gonna be like I'm not fucking with them. You see what I'm saying? So when people do recognize your identity, it just means it's that powerful and that strong. All right. Now this is what y'all probably been waiting for because I know y'all be like, oh my god, like how's the day before and after? Night and day difference. Now I'm not 6'10". I'm not 6'7". I'm not 6'8" or some shit. You feel me? I know them motherfuckers be doing numbers, bro. They be doing numbers with the hoes, bro. But before getting in shape, bro, I had no Instagram DMs, bro, unless it was from a bot. Yo, the bots didn't even DM me, bro. If you're not getting DMs from bots, you're not popping. You're not popping, right? So I didn't get any DMs or Snapchats. None, 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 none. Like while on the journey, I remember ignoring like chasing girls because I was chasing girls for a little bit, and then once I got in school, I was like, I got to focus, I got to reach these goals, right? So I remember messaging a bunch of chicks like right before I got into school, and they all just like left me on red, blocked me and shit like that because they felt so disrespected. So I was like, I'm gonna focus on school, right? So once I packed on those 30 pounds, right, a lot of the chicks that left me on red, a lot of the chicks that didn't give me the time of day or said you're not in my league, they put like hard eyes under my pictures. 8 months down the line, 6 months down the line, when I put on that muscle, mass, they're all like, "Oh my gosh, look at you" and shit like that. So it was crazy to kind of see that. I was like, "Yo," because in reality, like we all watch the Disney Channel bullshit, and we all think that's what you got to do to get a chick. So it's like once they actually respond to your physique improving, it's like, what the heck? Everything I've learned is a lie. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. So this is me when I packed on the muscle. By the way, this is the base. Like you can see my abs weren't popping that much. I wasn't eating the best because I was bulking. I had some chest muscle. This was like my first photo shoot, and like I got so many messages just off this. This was back in like 2017 or some shit. All right. So here's some experiences like just going out, running errands and shit like that, right? So I already told you guys about like when I'm in the gym, all the choosing signals and chicks be following me around my whole workout and shit like that. Especially because if I'm gonna do like some gym content or if I'm gonna take like pictures or something like that, then yeah, if I'm gonna do like some content in the gym or I'm gonna take pictures or stuff like that, I usually take my shirt off. So I usually get like all the attention from the chicks and stuff like that. They're like following me around, choosing signals all the time, bro, all the time. And a lot of times they'll just literally pull up on me, bro. They'll literally pull up on me. So let's go through I already told you guys this story about the when I went to Target or whatever. But yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you that story. Like I was in a different story. I was in the gym, just chilling, working out like I always do, whatever. Me and my brother were actually working out, and then some like this group of three chicks were just staring the entire time, bro. They were staring the entire time, and I was like, why are they staring, man? They're just staring, right? So then, we were working out back. I think they were doing legs or something like that. So we're about to be done. It was like we're like 45 minutes in the session. We're not gonna do like an hour. So 45 minutes in the session, we're like using this machine, and then they come up to us like, "Are you using this machine?" Like I knew they weren't using it, but they acted like they were doing back. So then, I pulled up on them, asked them a few questions, and then I got the numbers and stuff like that. But things like that will happen to you way more when you have Bodygame, you practice Bodygame, guys. Now, another story, like you're gonna get chicks that wanna, pay for dates and fly you out. Like here's the thing. A lot of you guys don't notice because you guys are asleep on life. A lot of you guys think that like all this stuff that you see on social media, like, oh my gosh, like he has to pay for the first date or he has to do this. None of that matters when a chick is attracted to you, bro. When she has a genuine desire, when you're her first option, none of that shit matters. It only matters to you, like to the people they're not attracted to, because they got to get something from the situation. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people do not realize that, like, if a chick's attracted to you, she will DM you. She'll go out of her way, DM you, and make her schedule available. Be like, I'll take off work and I'll just fly to see you. Like seriously, like chicks have done that. All right, but that same chick for someone else she's not attracted to, she's like, oh, I'm super busy and maybe we could go to Ruth Chris. Like that's what they'll say, right? But for, like chicks, they'll pay for days, they'll fly you out, they'll do anything, bro. Like just to see when is genuine desire, right? When you're treated as a first option. A lot of you guys haven't experienced that because you haven't worked on yourself enough. Now, it's not something that happens in the initial stages of you working on yourself either. It takes time of you working on yourself, working on your appearance, things like that. And even with the crack phone, bro, look at that. I was pulling with a crack phone, bro. Like it doesn't matter, bro. You guys think all these things matter and they just don't. The smallest things do not matter. You got the $20 watch on. You got a chain that I got sent to me from a company on Instagram. Like you got a broken phone that's like 2 years, like I should have got an upgrade 2 years ago type shit. Like like that stuff doesn't matter when someone has genuine interest, right? And what you guys don't realize is the amount of work I put in when it comes to like dating is literally 0%. It's the worst. It's the worst ever. Like one day when everything gets settled, when I'm like where I want to be with everything else, I might start like trying to date and like date, you know, longer term. Well, not longer term, or like take it more seriously or try different things. But I don't have the luxury of doing that shit now. So like any experience I have is like literally the chick did all the chasing, like literally 100% of chasing. Like I don't, when it comes to choosing signals, I don't respond to choosing signals. You have to actually, like in the gym, I don't respond to choosing signals. You could stare at me, you could literally come up to me, but if you don't say something to me, I'm not starting the conversation. But a lot of times, the chick will still be like, "Hey, are you using that?" When she's obviously not using it, and I still won't say anything to her. Like they have to literally be like, "Hey," they have to be like, "Hey, what's your Instagram?" or some shit like that. I'm just not initiating anything. That's just how the place I'm in right now because I'm focused on other things. All right, so part three, guys. So yeah. So this is just talking about that story. But anyways, a lot of people always ask me questions about like abs, traps, shoulders, quads, things like that, which is pretty cool, right? But I want you guys to know that in general, like being lean is super, super rare, guys. It is super, super rare, especially without the steroids. Look like, yeah, there's a bunch of people who take steroids and they look like they take steroids, so you know they lift. But being like lean and fit as a dude that's not taking steroids is super rare, and social media blows it out of proportion. Remember, there's 7 billion people on Earth, and since I've been posting in 2017, I've seen like the same main 100 people being fit because they're still the fittest people. A lot of people do not have the discipline to practice body game, guys. Like, honestly. In those past 7 years, I've had a lot of people who messaged me 7 years ago and they're in the same place, right? Because they were never willing to commit. They were never willing to invest in themselves. They were never willing to get that gym membership or, you know, buy the healthy food because it's more expensive. Like, just making excuses like that, being their own, getting in their own way. But there's been people I talked to 4 years ago, and they're like, man, I'm gonna start. I'm definitely starting next week. They never started, so they never got results. And then there's those people that started, and when they don't get results in 1 month, they're like, I don't know, man, I had to quit because 1 month I didn't get results. Like that's the dumbest shit ever, bro. You've been doing bad habits for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and you want to undo them all in 1 month. It's just not gonna happen. And in that 1 month, you're only consistent for like 5 days, maybe. So a lot of people do not have the discipline, the consistency to practice actual body game, bro. All right, guys, work interactions. It's been very interesting as a nurse. Like, there's been a lot of chicks. Like, here's the thing, man. Like, when I was working I would do agency work, right? And when I went to do agency work, there was like some chicks would be like, oh, like if you need, like if I would be relieving them, they'd be like, if you need any help, here's my number. And I'm like, dude, I've been here like a million times. I don't need any help. I know exactly what I'm doing. And they're like, well, you might need something. Like if something comes up, I'm like, no, I know every situation. I've been in a lot of different, nursing homes, blah blah blah. And they're like, well, here's my number, and they just like give me their number, and then they, shit like that. Or they'll just comment and they'll be like, damn, I know you so fine. I know you get all the girls, shit like that. They'll just say shit like that all the time and they'll definitely respect you more. They'll do some work for you. They'll take work off your hands. It's pretty nice, and they'll receive you better than they would if it was just like if you're just some out of shape slob. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, that's out of shape slob. But when it's when you're lean and you got your shit together, they're like, oh, okay. They're just way nicer, and the shift goes by smoother. Even the patients respect you more, which is crazy. It's really really crazy. And then of course, working as an in-person trainer, one of the most important things as an in-person trainer is to have a, I'm not saying, oh, be super swole, be the ripped. No, you don't have to be the rippedest or the swollest. Just, look presentable, like have a haircut, have decent grooming in the face, and then have a decent physique, 15% body fat or less, or you could even have 18 if you have a lot of muscle mass, but you'll be above everybody else. Because there's a lot of trainers, in-person trainers are like 30% body fat or they're disheveled. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right, guys. And like I said earlier, one of the biggest things for me was just being able to inspire others. Now, the reason I'm wearing a tank top here because I always wanted to fit in a tank top and look aesthetic in it. And I finally got to that point after all these freaking years of training. But just being able to change people's lives in person, online, through going live on TikTok. Like every time I go live on TikTok now, someone's like, "Hey, I took your advice 3 months ago and it worked." So it's just been really, really an honor to be able to really help people. Like the best feeling in the world is when someone doesn't believe they can lose weight, right? And then they just like kind of cuss you out, and then you're going back and forth, and you're like, no, 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 I'm telling you, it's gonna work. Just lock in, and they're still cussing you out, and then they actually finally lock in, and they see the results, and they change their self belief, and they realize why they weren't, getting the results. That's one of the best feelings in the world, right? Because now they're on the other side, and they're like, yep, I appreciate you, and I understand why I wasn't getting results. All right, guys, but I wanted to let you guys know that obviously fitness is so much than like your physique improving. Your physique is just a manifestation of your habits, your ambition, and your discipline. It's not just like you don't just work out so you can have a bigger muscle here, bigger muscle there, right? Like that's not what it's for. Showing up when you're not motivated, not pressing the snooze button, putting your gym clothes on when it's pouring rain. The dedication to show up when you don't feel like it is strengthening your mental, guys. And that's one of the most important parts about this, because you could apply this discipline to a lot of different aspects of your life as well, not just fitness. So that's one of the most powerful parts about fitness. It is like I said, the gateway to discipline, the gateway to success, because once you're disciplined in this aspect of your life, you could apply it to other aspects as well. All right, guys. So if you're interested in coaching, link will be in the bio description. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video.